Guys, what's up, Jaime?
Hello, hello. How are y'all?
Oh, I can't hear anything. Whoa.
Or maybe
Jaime?
unplug the TV.
All right. Unplug for now. All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
How's everybody?
Very good, very good. Oops. All right. Well, we start on time and we end on time. So, Jaime, usually we go for about half an hour and then we go for another 15, 20, give or take for Q&A. But today, obviously, we want to have you share on how realtors can do more deals, get more free leads by creating content on YouTube. So here we go, guys. And Jaime is a team leader out of the Dallas Fort Worth area. And he also is an influencer here at eXp Realty. And he's also the founder of the Creator Agent, currently helping us up our YouTube game. Super excited. And, so far, very, very pleased with what we've been able to create. And we're going to go big on YouTube with Jaime. So, Jaime, thank you for your partnership, first and foremost, and your support. And thank you for being here today. So, without further ado, Mr. Jaime Resendez, welcome.
Well, thank you for the invite. Super excited. Super excited
Yes,
for being here.
sir.
Well, do you prefer, is this presentation style? Would that be better? What would be easiest for you?
Yeah, I think a short presentation where you can go into what you do exactly and how agents can actually, utilize YouTube, what call to action to get them to have free leads.
I
I
love
mean,
it.
that's what we all want, right? Consistent free leads off of YouTube.
Fair, fair, fair,
Yeah.
fair. So I'll give you our system that we have with all of the channels that we create. So as John mentioned, my name is Jaime Resendez, and I've been on YouTube since 2018. So at this point, I've made personally over 1,500 videos myself and helped well over 10,000 videos to get produced, edited, all that fun stuff. So with that being said, we have a pretty good system set in place. We know what is going to work on YouTube, basically in every market. So we're going to go into that pretty systematically today. But just so I understand where we're at the moment, if you want to drop into the chat, if you're able to, how many videos you've published on YouTube in the last 30 days. If the answer is zero, own it. That's okay. So if you're able to, please help me out. Just I want to
They have
understand where
two.
we are at the moment. I might need to slow
In
down
real
if
estate.
necessary.
So, but two.
I might need to slow down if needed, which is okay. So in the last 30 days, how many videos have we published? I'm seeing zeros. That is okay. I see four. So we have good adoption there. We have one, we have two, we have zero. So the average here, 21. Whoa, okay, David. All right. We have a veteran. That's fair. That's fair. Cool, cool, cool. So on average, I'm seeing about, on average, we're seeing about 1.2 on average videos being published out there. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. So I'm going to give you the accelerated version. We're not going to talk about theory. We're not going to talk about just, hey, get into YouTube. You don't need the rah-rah. You don't need the motivation. You essentially need the blueprint. And that's what we're going to get into today. So let's look at something real quick. I'm going to give you, if you follow these three items here, if you follow, if you follow these key drivers, you're going to see success on YouTube. So 80%, this could feel like a little bit of theory, but I'm telling you, if you only focus on these five things here, you're going to see success on YouTube. There's no way that you don't. This is about 90%, 90 to 95% of your success on YouTube is dictated on you doing these things correctly. And we'll unpack that. I've done this presentation plenty of times to share what's accelerate on some points that we can kind of zoom through and then really hone in on the parts that we need to talk about in depth. So topic selection, this is about 80% of your success on YouTube. What what videos you put out into the world. And I'm going to give you specific videos to make in your market. So I'm going to give you the exact video. So don't worry about that too much. What's more interesting for me is that you understand the items to really focus on. It's very rarely what you actually say in your videos. And that's where we spend a lot of our time. We spend a lot of our time making sure that our makeup is right. We spend a lot of our time making sure that we don't sound dumb or silly or whatever limiting beliefs we put out into the world out there, or how we sound. But here's the reality. That's how you look, that's how you sound, and that's the information that you have to share with the world. So you can improve your skill set, and I know John does that a lot in teaching the skill sets necessary to elevate your game, but it's very rarely when we're talking about YouTube what you actually say in the videos that's going to help you, that's going to dictate your success on YouTube. 80% of it is the topics that you select, and I'm going to give you the 3 types of videos to record. Now, if you have any questions along the way, I do tend to speak fast and I do tend to just completely go off the rails sometimes. So make sure that you keep me honest, drop any questions or unmute as we get going. So the 5 T's that you're going to focus on, so as you notice that they're all starting with T's, it's going to be the topic that you select. It's 80% of it. Traffic, that means is there demand for the topic that I'm creating? So if you make a video on how to buy a house on Bird Street in Coppell, April 2nd, that of course has no, it's only going to apply to one person, right? So is there demand? Is there traffic? Is this the topic that I'm considering? Is anybody going to watch? Is it interesting enough, right? Is that something that's going to incentivize or entice anybody outside of myself to actually watch that video? So you're going to notice that this follows a framework, and the framework is very simple. So as long as you get these 5 things right, you're in a good spot. Once you have a topic that you are considering putting out into the world, again, let's say how to buy a house in Canada as an example. Well, that's a topic. And we're going to put this to the paces here. Traffic, is there demand for that? Is there an appetite for somebody to watch that video? Well, I would argue that yes, there is. So there, if the second the checkbox is done. There is traffic for somebody that is searching actively on the Reddit forums, on the Googles, on the AIs, on the YouTubes, which a lot of them end up funneling right back into the YouTube video. So you're going to see that even the large language models, regardless of the one that you use, whether it's Grok, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Claude, whatever you happen to use, a lot of them are referencing and sourcing back to YouTube, right? So traffic, thumbnail. So a thumbnail, I see a few folks that have not published it. That's completely okay, but I would argue that you probably are using YouTube for education. You're probably using YouTube to learn something yourself. So you know as a viewer what appeals to you. So a thumbnail is nothing more than a digital billboard for your video. This is what's going to entice somebody to stop for a millisecond. This is designed to stop the scroll on the app of the YouTube app. That's what you're trying to achieve with the thumbnail design that you go with on your video. So from the thumbnail perspective, it needs to stand out. It needs to create curiosity. It needs to give somebody at least a itch to explore this video further, right? So think of, well, I'll tie it up here once we get going. Title. What are you going to title that video? So from the very top topic selection, what are you going to record on? So here we're talking about how to buy a house in Canada as an example. Traffic. Is there demand for this video? Yes, there is demand. People are actively looking for that type of information. Thumbnail. What story do I need to tell that's going to create curiosity on the thumbnail that's going to allow somebody to pause just enough to read the title that I'm putting on this video? So from a title perspective, how to buy a house in Canada without getting ripped off. That's a title. I mean, that's the one that you could go with. That is one that creates either curiosity or is going to feed the SEO, so search engine optimization. So there's 2 ways to title a video. There is curiosity based. So essentially, you're not saying exactly what you're going to cover in the video. You're more creating curiosity than anything else. That's one way to title a YouTube video. Another way, the more prominent way that really works well for real estate is SEO, search engine optimized way, where you're spelling it out, how to buy a house in Canada in 2026. So if you're looking for your next type of video, or you're looking for your very first video to put out into the world, that is a video that you're going to want to explore for 2026 because that is going to be one of the most frequent and searched terms at the beginning of the year. And if you're on the listing side, you just flip it. How to sell a house without a real estate agent. That is, when it comes to real estate, that is the most commonly used phrase, how to sell a house without a real estate agent. And you essentially share with the viewers how to sell a house without an agent. I know I'm packing a lot of different things here, but I know I want to be super respectful of your time here, but we're going to go extremely quickly. We're still on the five elements, the five drivers of your YouTube success, which again, if you get these things right, 90% of your success on YouTube is already almost guaranteed. Selecting the right topics, which I'll give you the topics to go after in the order to go after them. Traffic, understand whenever you run out of the topics that I'm going to present to you today, in your own filter, you're going to determine, is there enough traffic? Is there enough demand for the video that I'm about to create? What does my thumbnail need to look like? How am I going to title this video to convince somebody to click on that link and watch my video? And what do my first 30 seconds need to be? How am I going to capture somebody's attention who had no earthly idea that I existed before they logged into the app? How am I going to convince somebody to stay on my video? That is your goal in the first 30 seconds, right? So if you're looking for metrics, I like to give as many numbers as possible so you kind of have some benchmarks to know if you're on the right path. If you can keep somebody on your YouTube video if you can keep 70% of your audience within the first 30 seconds of your video, you're going to see tremendous success on YouTube. So I'll say it again. If you can keep 70% of your audience in the first 30 seconds of your video, you are going to have a very successful YouTube video, YouTube channel, and real estate channel that's going to actually bring you business. Now I'll take a breath for a quick second. Questions, comments, concerns. I'm packing several different sessions into one, but I wanted to give you the highest and best, the most actionable blueprint to your business today. Any questions? Anything? Any light bulbs? Anybody out there? No worries. I'm comfortable. Let's keep going. So if there's no questions, that means
Jaime, I have a question for you. For the hooks, I think you mentioned to capture the audience for the few seconds and some minutes, keep going forward depending on the length of the video, of course. What are the hooks that you think it would be suitable for real estate agents that is engaging and it keeps them watching?
yeah, such a good one. Such a good question. So I'm going to give you the framework, which is if you follow this framework, I am really much into templates, very much into frameworks because that's duplicatable. So to answer your question, Axel, this is a framework that we use with all of our videos, all of our channels. Okay, so I'll put a little line real quick. If you're looking for, hey, what do I say? Because that comes up all the time. This is a framework to answer your question what the first 30 seconds are going to look like. So first, it's going to start off with an opening hook, a reason for somebody to pay attention to you. Right. So as an example, if we were looking at that example that we've been running with how to buy a house in Canada. Buying a house in Canada the wrong way can cost you thousands of dollars. There's a big difference, and I could do much better than that, but for the sake of time, we're not even going to try. There's a big difference in starting a video that way. Like buying a house in Canada, the wrong way can cost you thousands. Boom, you're right into it. There's a big difference between that and, hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, like, comment, share, and subscribe. You don't know who I am yet, but I do want you to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I haven't provided anything valuable to you, but I still want you to do that for me if you wouldn't mind. There's a big difference. And of course, I'm exaggerating that part, but effectively with our words and our rambling, that's what we do. Claudia.
Hi, Jaime. When targeting different ethnicities, different languages, what do you suggest? Subtitles or different videos in different languages? Thanks.
So now more than ever, YouTube actually does the work for you. So speak it in your language, the subtitles automatically happen. And now YouTube is even rolling out the translation on your behalf.
Okay, what I mean is in terms of catching the audience, because I know that you can have the subtitles, but is it more catchy to have the subtitles or to actually have different videos in different languages?
No, so what other language do you speak?
Spanish.
What's your primary audience? Do you normally speak Spanish to is that your bulk of your business? Is it Spanish speakers?
No, it's more English based, but I'm fluent in Spanish anyways, so I could target Spanish population as well.
Well, you could, but essentially what you focus on, that's ultimately what grows. So if you wanted more Spanish speakers, I would speak in Spanish. If you wanted more English speakers, I would speak in English. So for me, I am also, I'm not going to say fluent in Spanish, although I was born there, pero sé el español súper bien. Pero solamente hay 3 videos en que he hablado español. So there's only 3 videos.
Okay.
So that's more of a business conversation. So I'll refrain from that. I'll answer your question there as directly as possible. I would focus on one language. And if you're going to speak to both audiences, that's of course, that's a business conversation for you. I would actually make 2 YouTube channels and have one channel specifically for Spanish, one channel specifically for English, because you don't want to confuse the algorithm. Does that help?
Sí, muchas gracias.
Claro que sí. Teddy.
Yes, sir. I was actually just gonna ask. I think you just answered the question. If when you talk about thumbnails, if you convert it to the say like the Spanish channel and you put a Spanish thumbnail, does it confuse the algorithm by chance, or does it not make a difference?
What would confuse it more than anything is going to be what you say in the videos. So if you could put hieroglyphics in the thumbnail. As long as you have a high click-through rate, you're going to be benefited in the YouTube world. So that in and of itself isn't going to do anything.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I wasn't planning to introduce this part, but I'll complete it real quick. So for the first 30 seconds, you're going to need your hook. So buying a house in Canada the wrong way can cost you thousands. Reinforcement statement. You are reinforcing the click. You're reinforcing and validating why somebody is in your video. Because remember, up until 12 seconds ago or 2 seconds ago, they didn't know you existed. It was just because you selected the right topic that you're in front of the right audience at the right time, thanks to YouTube. Right? So you did 1, you took action. 2, you took the right type of action, which is making the right type of video, which we'll talk about here shortly. There was enough demand. So YouTube rewarded you by the individuals that are actively looking for how to buy a house in Canada. Your thumbnail did the right thing. It stopped the scrolling of people on their app. Right. So you're up until now, you're crushing it. You took action, you selected the right topic, there was enough demand, and now people have stopped scrolling for long enough to read the title. So up until now, you're 4 for 4. Now you're in the critical moments where now you deliver. Right. So now it's you create a reason for them to stay. And now you're validating why they should spend the next 5, 10, 30, an hour watching the rest of your video. right? So this is something that John and Axel and I have been talking about and with the podcast that they do. We're validating the first 30 seconds. We're reinforcing why people need to stay rather than starting mid-conversation without as much context, right? So the reinforcement statement would essentially give them that assurance that, hey, you're in the right place. Then we're going to quickly get into the table of contents. Essentially, we're talking about giving them a quick blueprint of what's going to be covered in the video, encouraging them to stay to the end for a payoff. And then we just do a very brief intro. Welcome to DFW Homeowner, where you'll find real estate information that no one else is sharing with you. That's my intro. And it takes less than 3 seconds to do. So if you do this correctly with these 5 lines, basically, you should be able to do this within 28 seconds to 30 seconds. And then if you follow this recipe, you are going to get at least 70% of your audience staying on your videos. So you don't need a guess. Katarina.
My question is so about posting, not so much the content. So when I post my listing videos, YouTube prompts a question asking if this content is appropriate for kids. What are you supposed to like toggle on? Because for some reason when I post them, my comments are turned off. I'm wondering if that's because they say it's appropriate for kids. Like, am I doing this wrong?
Yeah, so essentially you're clicking that it's more adult content. So I'm sorry, it's kid-friendly content. So yeah, if it's specifically geared towards kids, it'll automatically turn off the comment section and it will suppress your video.
I think
That explains it.
I think the actual question that YouTube asks you to select, is it made for children or is it not? So if you're making children content, then say yes. But if you're not, then place no.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I think I misunderstood the question YouTube was asking me. I've
The
just
way
always
they
clicked
ask it is
yes.
weird. The way they ask it is weird. So essentially, it's like, hey, is it kid friendly? Is the way that a lot of people interpret it. So you're not the first one.
Okay, well, thank you so much for clarifying that.
Yeah, yeah. So you can go back and you're gonna want to like unverify that or essentially say that, hey, this is these are good to go. That way you don't keep getting suppressed.
I'll do that. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Hi,
Alrighty,
speaking
so
of the intro, before you go to the next topic, the intro, does it require to say our name or should we just stick with credentials that we have every time in every video?
it's at this point for us, we just do a very brief intro into the channel and what to expect. It's not necessarily who we are or our credentials and validating ourselves because we have lower thirds for that. So lower thirds is basically text that we put on the bottom. So for me, as an example with the intro, not that I have the best one in the world, but it's essentially, hey, welcome to the DFW Homeowner, where you'll find real estate information that no one else is sharing with you. I didn't say who I was. I didn't say that. I mean, it'll say in the lower thirds, founder of the DFW Homeowner Group and all that fun stuff, but it won't go beyond that. It's just straight into the content. Alrighty. Questions, comments, concerns. I was always asking myself that. How many channels? We gotta start the scroll.
Hey, Jamie,
Oh, yes.
quick question. So, let's just say your channel is focused on one niche. Like, let's just say it's I don't know, like first-time home buyers. And if you wanted to sprinkle in other content or start doing other content, would you keep that on the same YouTube page or start a brand new one?
Yeah, such a good question. So in real estate, that's such a good question. It's 80-20. If you plan to spend maybe 20% experimenting with other topics, it's okay to stay on that YouTube channel. If you plan to spend way more video or use more videos that don't talk to your specific um, audience, if you plan to do more than that, then yeah, start another channel. So the cleanest distinction that I can give, and the question that comes all the time is, well, do I put seller content and buyer content on the same channel? The answer is no. If
Okay.
you're specifically if you know you're going to be doing a ton of buyer content and a ton of seller content, then keep those separate because you're speaking to two different audiences. Some are, especially in your world, if you're thinking about first time home buyers, well, they have questions that a seller doesn't have. A seller's thinking, how to sell my house. A first-time home buyer is, how do I save enough money to buy my first house?
Right. Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Any other questions before we get into it? Let me see. Do we want to go into that? Let's go into the types of videos because I think we're ready for that. All right. So again, to put things into context here, if we're looking for where are we going to put our energy, where are we going to put our focus, how are we going to maximize our YouTube opportunity that we have in front of us, these are the 5 places you're going to do that. Getting the topic selection right. The types of videos that you make matter. And then putting them to the rest of the filter. So we've talked about this several times. So let's just go into the actual videos in the system that we create or that we have here at Creator Agent. So your videos basically fall into 3 buckets. There's what we call workflow videos that are designed to save you time. There are videos that we call converting videos that are designed to get conversion. So essentially get people over the finish line and from curiosity mode into active client mode. And then we have viral videos that are designed to reach new audiences for you. So if you're looking for topic selection, videos to make, this is a framework that we teach. It is workflow videos, which I'll give you examples, converting videos, and viral videos. So what are workflow videos? These are videos that are going to save you time. These are videos that you introduce into your workflow so you don't have to repeat yourself over and over and over again, answering the question again and again and again. These are, how to buy a house, what happens after you get your offer accepted, what to do after you close on your home. These are videos that as you're working with your client, you're able to send these to your clients to provide that 5-star experience. But really, at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is save you as much time as possible. So the question that you want to ask yourself before you make a workflow video is, what video will save me 15 minutes every single time? If I didn't have to actually answer the question, at least here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, what the option period is and what will actually, can you get that back? Can you not? All that fun stuff. Well, that's something that could take me 15 minutes to explain to a client. So when that question comes up, I know I don't have to hop on the phone and explain that for the 100th time to my 100th client. I quickly send a video that explains that. Differences between earnest money and option. Like, you can come up with infinity examples. And you can build your funnel, and you should be building your funnel that explains your entire process from beginning to end. Right? So you're 7 days away from closing. What do you need to do? Right? So these are all videos that you introduce into your workflow that are going to save you time and are going to be very helpful to your clients. So all of y'all operate a different type of business. So you to explain the way that you do your business and have that out, not just for your clients, you're serving it for them first, because that is going to save you time. But what you're going to find is that these workflow videos are going to actually bring you business as well. But the primary reason that you're making these types of videos is to save you time. Does that make sense? Awesome. This is one of the this is one of the types of videos that if you get this one portion right, you are going to see how much 1 hour of your time is going to save you 100 hours within the year. If you make these workflow videos and continue to use them over and over and over again, these are going to help you not just from your clients, but also if you're a team lead or if you're a broker owner, as the agents that you bring on, you're able to use that as a training tool for them. Right? So not only does this help become a training tool for your agents, help you serve your clients a lot better, and it's going to go out there and bring in more clients for you. But the primary reason that you make these videos is to save you time. That's one type of video that you're going to put out into the world. The second type of video is where most of us should, well, let me rephrase that. The second type of video is converting videos. These are videos that are designed to actually convert into leads. So these videos, depending on the market that you're in and depending on the topic, but on average, we're seeing about 600 views or so per lead on these types of videos, the ones that actually convert into clients. Now, before you make that video, the one question you're going to ask yourself is, how close is that viewer from calling me? And if you can't come up with an earthly idea of why somebody would call you, that's probably not a converting video. I'll give you an example. So, questions to ask your next real estate agent. Well, if somebody's watching that video, there's a high likelihood that they're thinking about interviewing an agent. So there's a big difference between putting that video out into the world versus a video on a day in the life of a real estate agent, as an example. Now, it's still real estate adjacent, but there's a big difference between questions to ask your next real estate agent versus one that you're documenting your life. Both have their place, but understand what place they have in your library of content. Excuse me. So your converting videos, you can go into everything. So how to know if now is the right time to buy. So here you're not saying, hey, right now is the perfect time to buy. The reason you're not going to make that type of video is because that requires instant traction. That requires a viral moment. That requires for views to happen today, because you're time bounding that video. Right now, December 2025 is the perfect time to buy a house. Well, what happens when the algorithm finally shows it to somebody in June of 2026? No one's going to watch that. Rephrased differently, that's why you see the word evergreen. So essentially, evergreen is something that's going to work today, next week, next month, next year, next decade. How to know if now is the right time to buy? The information within is going to be the same. But now you've framed it, you've packaged that video in such a different way to where you're not making the claim that December 2025 is the right time to buy. You're making you're essentially teaching somebody how to fish. And by you doing that, people are going to be reaching out. So people that are interested in, or at least considering buying, well, by them simply watching that video gives you a big clue that there's potentially somebody down the road that's watching that video that's might want to buy. More specificity that answers questions sounds like money. Love it. It absolutely is. So that's why I can comfortably tell you that with these types of videos, 600 views is all it takes with these types of videos, right? So again, the question to ask yourself is, how close is the viewer from calling me? If you cannot come with a logical answer of why anybody would call you to list a home or buy a home with you, that's probably not a converting video, and it's probably not a video that you should invest. How to know if now's the right time to switch brokerages or switch to EXP. That's true. That's true. That's a video that is a converting video, right? Questions on these types of videos before we get into the viral moments. Axel, how am I on time? I feel
You're good to go. And well, around 12:15, we can open it to Q&A if you want again, and we can wrap it up by then. But you still have time.
Understood.
So usually we open it up for Q&A, but we've been opening up for Q&A anyways. We do end at 12:15. So depending on that, how much more do you have to go?
I will spend 12 seconds on viral moments and then just give you the framework, and then we can Q&A.
Open it up.
Yeah, that'd be best. So
You
viral
know what?
moments.
We're gonna have to ask you to come on a periodic basis anyways, because I'm sure there will be updates on YouTube. If you're open for it, there's always going to be part 2, 3, 4 with Jaime. So if you're open for it.
Happy to do that. Happy to do that. It's like, I can't tell John no.
Come on.
Well, I could, but it wouldn't end well. So notes. Jasmine, they're in the comment section below, so you get the exact notes that I'm building off of here. So let's talk about viral moments for a quick second. Most of us try to go for that home run, but oftentimes for the home run hitters, we strike out a lot. So if you're going for the viral moments, I'm not going to tell you don't do them, but I understand that there's going to be a lot more flops than successes. The good thing is that you don't need that many virals to reach new audiences. So the one thing that I would say here is with your viral moments, don't count on your real estate success revolving around viral videos, because that's not going to be where you end up seeing the success. So if you want a question to ask yourself, hey, is this a viral video? Just it would be a fun video to share with my friends, right? So these would be viral videos that kind of lead the witness, that would be interesting and entertaining for somebody to watch, that have historically proved out to get a ton of views. Why everybody is leaving Canada right now, as an example. So just replace any of these with your community, your city, your county, or province, or country if you want. But this video right now, if you unleash it into the world, I can guarantee you it's going to be a 1 out of 10, meaning of the last 10 videos that you've published, it's going to be your number one most viewed video. There hasn't been a market that we've unleashed it, and we're managing about 100 channels at this point, that it doesn't. So if you're looking for that next viral moment, that would be it. All right, so let's talk about how to actually execute this, right? These are all fun, right? These are all fun. These are great ideas, I'd like to think. But at the end of the day, we all have 24 hours. And the best way that you optimize for your time and optimize for your YouTube success is in the form of batching, essentially making multiple videos at once. So don't start from the very beginning and take it all the way to the end on one video, because that's taking too long. So there's been the period of time where I was making a video a day for over 2.5 years, and I was 2 weeks ahead. And these videos were about 15 to 20 minutes in length. And that's because I was using this very simple framework. So you're making multiple videos at once in a very easy to follow workflow. So you're going to have a prep day. Just give you an example of when that could be. You're brainstorming video ideas. You're optimizing those videos ideas. So basically, this is a filter. This is where you test your topic. Is there enough traffic? What does my thumbnail need to look like? What does my title need to say? And what do my first 30 seconds need to look like? That's what you're doing in the optimizing phase. And then you're scripting the video. So if you brainstorm 10 ideas and then you find out that probably 5 of them were garbage, that means that you only leave 5 to go on to the next phase, and you actually script out 5 rather than script out 10 video ideas knowing that 5 of them are not going to hit. Right? So again, this is going to be in your prep day. Your next day, or whenever your next session is for YouTube, going to be recording. At that point, you're going to have 5 videos that are fully scripted out, and with Chat GPT, it makes it so much easier. Claude makes it so much easier. Grok makes it so much easier. Back in the day, I had 3 content writers that were writing all of my content for me. I now employ 0. That's how big of a difference the AI can and is for your business now. The second session, again, so I'm just giving you different examples that typically most agents go with. On Mondays are going to be their prep day. The following day, or everyone's different, but the following day, they'll typically go out and execute and go and record. And then post-production. So post-production is basically editing and distributing. Everyone has a different schedule, but if you can allocate at least 3 days to your YouTube strategy, 1 on your prep, 2 on your record, 3 on your editing and distribute, you're going to have a really easy way to stay on top of your YouTube creation. All right, so what questions, comments, concerns do we have? I don't know, each one of these is like different sessions. So we're looking at maybe 5 different sessions. So I know I went super fast, but what questions, comments, concerns do we have?
Is there like a plug and play where you already have predetermined topics that you could just you have it all laid out, and then you could just kind of plug and play your own words and riff off of that?
There is
like a framework. Okay.
Well, the framework that you have here is this will help you do some of that. Now we do have creator agents, but I'm not gonna share that here. It's we do have creator agents that does this for agents. That's how we have 100 channels under management. But there we just have scripts, and a lot of the time there, our creators will simply just get the framework, the template, and everything into ChatGPT, and they just record from there.
Yeah, because I think for agents, the biggest problem that we have is the pre-production and the post-production. Like we could just jump on a camera, record, but then like what it is to actually say and then cut it up, I think that's what takes the most time. Just from personal experience, because I'm still kind of cowboying it myself. A lot of the a lot of the videos I got, bro, I still gotta chop them up and stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Jaime,
So
why don't you take a not a steep dive, but like explain what creator agent actually does that can help agents scale YouTube a little bit easier.
Okay, well, I'll
Yeah.
spend maybe 60 seconds on that, and thank you for
Okay.
that, John. So, Creator Agents is basically an end-to-end solution for agents that want to see success on YouTube. On average, our channels close at least 2 transactions per month from YouTube alone. So, the way that it works is we provide the strategy, we provide the frameworks, we provide templates, and in many cases, it just ends up getting scripted for them. Now, everybody has a different voice on that, all that fun stuff, but what's more important than anything else in a specific market is going to be that topic selection that we just talked about. So we start off from the topics, the strategy and everything on the front end, and then provide that to our agents that will then turn on the camera as you were mentioning and recording. Now, once the recording is done, they submit the recording, and then we professionally edit everything. We professionally design thumbnails. We professionally optimize for titles, for descriptions, for basically SEOing, so it indexes on YouTube, on Google, and on the large language models pretty consistently. Once the video edit comes back, I don't know, with John, I think we're averaging about 24 to 36 hours with the videos that are coming back for him that are professionally done. He approves them, and all of our creators approve them or provide some suggestions and feedback. We go on to upload onto YouTube and optimize them there. So basically, it's our creators, their responsibility is recording the videos. We take care of everything else on the back end.
that's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
36
Thank you.
hours though. That's crazy. I love it.
We're this is my team, so I can safely say that we're pretty efficient. So we're pretty efficient at it.
Hey, Jaime, do you and your group have any trainings that you do for your org that maybe, we can collaborate and have some of us to come on your calls?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually on right before our session today, we have creator agent sponsored YouTube mastermind. So on Thursdays at 12 p.m. Central, which is 10 Pacific Standard Time,
Okay.
agents that are part of creator agents are on there, but also guests and people that are interested in growing on YouTube.
Oh,
And
perfect.
I'll give y'all the library if y'all want to dig in deeper real quick.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm gonna give y'all this right now. So you see everything that when I say like I've combined 5 different topics in today's session, we've been doing this for a while. So it's like about 5 of these different topics. If you're interested in learning more about hooks and like the structure and how to use ChatGPT, how much is your program? It'll depend on the commitment level. So if you go to thecreatoragent.com, it'll go there. But if anybody that comes through, I haven't even asked you about this, John, but anybody that comes in through and mentions John, you get a 25% discount on any of those plans that you see there.
And I didn't get a 25% discount, so you guys are
It's because you didn't mention John. Sorry.
Gracias, señor.
No, thank you. Anything else? Again, I want to be super respectful of somebody else this time.
Yeah, so guys, feel free to book a call with Jaime to explore how he can help. I think there are different packages where, your commit based on your commitment level, where you want to go to, how big you want to go, right? So I think it'd be super helpful if you just talk to Jaime direct. And guys, if you have any referrals for him and his team in Dallas, Fort Worth, go ahead and reach out. And of course, now we have co-sponsorship program. If you have anybody that you're looking to attract, I mean, Jaime is your guy. So, guys, thank you all for being here. Thank you for your generous listening. And it was super valuable. Thank you. And we'll need a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna have you back. Jaime, any last inspiring insights for everyone here?
Man, first, thank you. And two, done is better than perfect. At this point, if you don't have a YouTube, well, I'll give you our mantra for 2026, and y'all heard it last night, Axel and John. If you don't have leverage in your business going into 2026, you are going to be in trouble. That's not a doom and gloom. So let's get into the actual, like, at least what we believe here. Lean into AI, lean into video, and lean into virtual assistants when the budget allows. But if you can do at least the front two, the AI and video, you heard it earlier that I had 3 content writers specifically just writing content. All of that went away, and that's through AI. Right. So if you can focus on at least two of those 3 pillars, you're gonna absolutely crush it.
Oh, there it is. Let's go crush it, guys. We'll look forward to seeing you back here next week. Jaime, thank you very much. Everyone, go have a great day. Go prospecting. All right. Adios. Bye bye.
Señor, adiós.